Hi, I'm Adrian, Peace Genesis Project.
Hey, and I'm Josh, the Hippie Mystic, channel for SOTU. We realize that a lot of you don't really know what channeling is and all of that stuff. And so for you new TikTok people, because we're very new on TikTok, but we've been around for a long time. For your new TikTok people, I'll do a video over the next couple of weeks about what channeling is. And if you've got any questions about channeling or about SOTU or about me, please feel free to put a comment into the video when you look at it, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. As I say, I'm not really up on TikTok at the moment, and I have to be reminded to check in to the dynamic every day. So this evening, we start out with me and Adrian's got some questions for SOTU to answer some of your questions already. SOTU does not come up every day, does not come up for us really that much at all any longer, although they really did, and they helped us get beyond a lot of things that used to hold us back. But they're available to you in this sort of way, questions, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. And we may answer them with a certain number of videos as well. So there you have it. Adrian, take it away.
Well, he's going to go into channel, in which case he's basically unconscious and won't know most of what goes on here, and so too will be here. And I'll see if I can get them to answer my question. The last few weeks it hasn't worked, but they've
Well,
had lots to say.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, because that's the whole dynamic. This is completely off the cuff. So here we go. I'm going to close my eyes. It'll take me a few seconds. So two will come in. My voice will change a little bit, but maybe over the period of however long they're here, that the accent may change slightly. The dynamics on how it presents in my face may change slightly, but you can make your own assessments on whether this is bullshit or not. So, all right, all right, here we go. All right. Well, it could be bullshit. That's up to you. Do you remember what the words of the year were, Adrian?
Discernment and objectivity.
Uh, she's so good when she knows the answer, it's just she not. All right, dear. When you have something for us this evening that you would like us to explore?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Or
Absolutely.
isn't that obsoletely?
Maybe,
Maybe. Okay, go
maybe.
ahead.
Now I've got to wonder if it's an obsolete question, but I won't spend too much time there. For years, because you have worked with us for
Come on, come
years,
on, come on, come on.
you have said if there was one thing that you could teach us all, it would be to think and feel at the same
Simultaneously.
time.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard thing to do, isn't it?
I'd like to know more about how to do that because to me it's a head and heart situation, and I seem to be either in one or the other.
Well, but you see, you have to consider that as a dynamic, perhaps of a paradox. The dynamic of your brain. And let's not talk about your mind, because your mind is a combination of head and heart and spirit. Um, but your brain covers a certain dynamic of function, and many of you believe that your brain is in charge of the dynamic, and that the concept of soul, the concept of spirit, comes from that dynamic, but it does not. It cannot come just strictly from reasoning, because reasoning has no feelings attached to it, no emotion attached to it. And emotion is the power of your universe. Emotion is the dynamic that, whether you realize it or not, that each of you uses to create your version of reality. So, the basic dynamic that we would have to teach you is to be able to be in your mind, be in your brain, and not have that take over the dynamic of your emotions and add the dynamic of your emotions to that situation using spirit as a moral compass.
Right.
All right. And then you take that dynamic of that paradox, and if you can hold that all together, you can begin to rise to a third position that can see the whole dynamic as a unit.
Well, you've talked to us about imagining in the future that because so much has gone on technologically, and people are on both sides about whether that's good or bad, but you've talked to us about imagining a heart-centered technology. Is
Yeah,
that,
that's a part of it. If you believe that AI is going to destroy you and it's going to make you, and actually, technology is what's going to save you, but it is a heart-centered technology. It is a technology that puts humanity first, not profit, not, who's the smartest or whatever. There's a dynamic of what is it used for. It is and will be a useful tool in the future. And, the key is to be able to retain your humanity in the face of all of that stuff. And that's the challenge that each of you faces now. Many of you are spending time and energy and conflict with the other side, and we don't even really have to go into what the other side is because each of you, many of you, not all of you, but many of you, and perhaps we're seeking to find those of you that are not in this position of either or, of black or white, of anything being totally good or anything being totally bad, to understand that there is a wide variety of energy at play here. And within that paradigm of that wide variety of energy, there are pattern recognitions to be had. But those pattern recognitions are individual for each and every one of you. Now, there you're going to find that they are similar to others, but they will never be specifically the same because each of you has attained a dynamic of individuality that has been the purpose of this long journey. And, we'll go into that at another time when we have about an hour.
well, can I take it in a different tact right now?
Perhaps.
Because you've also talked to us about the fact that we've had hundreds of thousands of lifetimes
Well,
where,
let's say at least many more than you believe.
well, a ton of lifetimes where we have grown through fear and negative motivations.
Well, if that's the only dynamic that you consider, but what about civilizations that you incarnated in before this dynamic of competition and comparison?
So are you talking pre-flood, pre-younger
No,
dryads?
you're talking linear time.
I am talking linear time.
Well, linear time is an illusion. It is, in fact, happening all at once. These dynamics of what happened in the past, if you understand the true nature of your world, they are legends that you have learned in order to be able to not have to start all over again in any given lifetime in the dynamics of consciousness, in the dynamics of learning. So there has been an ascending spiral of energy that has been going on, and though energy does not exactly repeat itself, it does rhyme.
Oh, that's a good explanation. All right, so you're saying that there are other experiences, lifetimes, where we're not using competition and comparison, not using fear.
If you can believe, if you have to look at the dynamic of linear time and you we keep telling you that all time is simultaneously, then all of your future lifetimes stretch out in front of you, and all of your past lifetimes stretch out behind you, and here you are in the moment.
Hmm.
But you have the possibility to gain any sort of dynamics of wisdom, both from the future and from the past, because in fact it's all now.
It's all now. So the concept that you've suggested to us, which is to grow now through positive friction, is
You're insisting on using that word, aren't you?
friction?
Positive friction.
Um,
This one told you last night, we think that it's time for you to stop using that because most people do not understand what it means. Because it is too, what shall we say, abstract a concept.
it is a bit of a stretch.
Well, it's not that. It's that it's not it. You might think of it as friction because that's a measure that you can figure out. Well, if I get positive friction going, then I can be in a position where when I die, then I will be judged fairly. And I can, because, that's what so many of you are afraid of, that upon death you're going to be judged. And that's why a lot of people don't talk to channels, because you're afraid that the channeled energy is going to judge you as well. And, that's something we don't do. Why would we judge you? You do so well at judging yourselves, you know. All right, yes, go on.
Well, that's taken me through my questions that I had lined up was to talk about positive friction and to talk
Well,
about head and
but what
heart.
is positive friction? Isn't that growth?
Yeah,
So why do you have to have friction in order to have growth? Because growth is expansion. Do you have to have friction when you expand, or aren't you dropping the friction and allowing a dynamic of a reality that is what, perhaps beyond your imagination? Can any of you allow for a reality that is beyond your imagination?
beyond our.
Perhaps that's the question of the week.
Oh, that was great.
Well, Adrian is so, so,
Amazing.
so generous with the praise. All right, dear ones, we love you all so very, very much. We'll be back again next week to add more and to tell you more. We love you until next time we close. Sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy.